This video is sponsored by Canyon City Supply Company from the SGV with Love. Was that okay, Knife? Nah, you gotta do that shit again.
Lames talking papas, hopped into my rampla, bumping eazy-e, blasting niñas up a chancla. Ha ha!
The 90s was arguably the best time to be alive. The internet and personal computers were suddenly everywhere. Jeans were ridiculously oversized and there was a black market for cute floppy toys, but in all seriousness, the 90s were a great time to be young. From digital pocket pads to see-through devices, technology and pop culture came together to create some of the greatest distractions any kid could ever hope for. While it's hard to choose the best of the best from the decade that birthed the technological revolution, I've put together a list of 90s must-haves that were truly all that in a bag of chips. But, as I say, que vole, it's the G and Geek and you're watching 20 things that every cool 90s kid couldn't live without. Number 1. The Sony Discman. Compared to what our parents was used to, with cassettes and vinyl records, compact discs, better known as the CD, provided crystal clear versions of your favorite 90s music. Whether it was the Casualties, Weezer, or eazy-e, when the Sony Discman made CD portable in the 90s, it was like the future had finally arrived. Sure, the music skipped whenever the Discman was even slightly jolted, but it was still a huge revelation. Number 2. The Tamagotchi. Who needs a real cat or dog when you have one in adorable keychain form? Tamagotchis were so addictive among kids in the 90s that some schools actually banned them because students would skip class to feed their handheld digital pets. Number 3. Doc Martens. Even if we never ventured anywhere near a mosh pit, 90s kids everywhere wore these heavy Nazi stompers as an everyday part of their wardrobe. Their junior high geometry class might as well have been an Operation Ivy concert. And if you were particularly cool, you probably had them in a floral plaid or metallic finish. Number 4. The Bart Simpson shirt. Back when The Simpsons was one of the only daring shows on television, donning a Bart Simpson Eat My Shorts t-shirt was an act of rebellious defiance. Even the bootleg versions with badly drawn caricatures of Bart and his family were a symbol of a counterculture that gave you street cred in the 90s. Number 5. Beanie Babies. Yeah, I had a couple of these. They were from McDonald's. But it was crazy how obsessive people became over Beanie Babies. Some kids were even trampled in the late 90s by anxious mobs trying to buy limited editions. And people paid thousands of dollars for the Princess Diana iteration. Number 6. Magic Eye. Let me find out you lied about seeing the optical illusion within a kaleidoscope Magic Eye image just so you wouldn't feel left out. These images were so popular during the 90s that they were referenced in everything from Seinfeld to Kevin Smith's movie Mallrats. Hanging one of these in your bedroom proved you were cool enough to see the elusive hidden image that not everyone could find. Hint, all you have to do is unfocus your eyes and you'll see it too. Wow, is that a scooter? Number 7. Plaid clothing. Whether you were a gangster or just wanted to dress like Alicia Silverstone from Clueless, you likely had at least a few outfits in your wardrobe that were plaid. It's the one look that everybody in the 90s, regardless of their personal aesthetics, could agree on. Number 8. The yo-yo. Originally created as a weapon, yo-yo sales skyrocketed during the 90s, all thanks to the yo-yo brand Yomega, which brought super fast models like the Brain and Fireball into the world. If it glowed in the dark, or changed colors and made crazy sounds whenever you performed a trick, say walking the dog or making it sleep, all the better. Number 9. The chain wallet. Apparently every kid in the 90s was suddenly convinced that they were being targeted by pickpockets. The chain wallet might not have been a foolproof security measure, and really anyone sporting one probably didn't have a lot to steal, but it sure did look tough. Number 10. An AOL account. Long before the days of Instagram and Snapchat, cool kids would communicate with each other online via AOL Instant Messenger, better known as AIM. But it wasn't as instant as its name indicates. It first required a CD-ROM to install the program, and then a phone line you could connect to your computer, and then a long, ear-shattering dial-up noise as your computer tried to make contact with the AOL server. Eventually you will get connected, learn that you've got mail, and be able to chat with your friends with a Comic Sans fun. Number 11, the PlayStation. When this made its stateside debut in 1995, the Sony PlayStation changed the way cool kids spent their afternoons. Yes, there had been Nintendos and Ataris before, but the PlayStation was a game changer. You could easily spend 48 hours playing Gran Turismo, Tekken, or Resident Evil and never seeing the light of day. Number 12, the beeper. Nope, these weren't just for drug dealers. Before kids had cell phones, they had pagers. It was basically a cell phone that could only send text messages, and those text messages could only contain a few numbers or letters and absolutely no emoticons. Sure, it doesn't sound that impressive now, but in the 90s, before anybody knew that texting was just a decade away, it was the coolest way to stay in touch with all your homies and some family. Number 13, the starter jacket. These bomber-style jackets went from athletic warm-up clothing to the coolest outerwear, all thanks to star power. Actor Eddie Murphy and rappers like NWA and 2 Live Crew practically wore starters as a uniform, and soon every teen was determined to own their own jacket. If it didn't have a little S with a star on the outfit, it wasn't the real deal. Number 14, the Blockbuster card. If you didn't rush to your local Blockbuster on Friday night to secure the newest release for you and your friends to watch during your sleepover, you probably weren't hanging out with the cool kids. A Blockbuster card was like having all the power. You could just show up, pick up the VHS of your choice, flash the card, and walk out with a brand spanking new copy of Jumanji. It was yours at least for a few nights, but before you returned it, we hope you were kind and did in fact rewind. Because if you didn't want that extra charge, to quote Stephanie Tanner, how rude. Number 15, the backwards baseball hat. Whether you were trying to emulate Will Smith or Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, putting a baseball cap on the wrong way with the visor either skewed to the side or facing backward was 90s shorthand for I have a zany personality. Probably because your life got flipped turned upside down. Number 16, see-through phone. I'm not entirely clear on why anyone needed to see inside their phone, especially a rotary one, but transparency was all the rage in the 90s, from our technology to our backpacks. It just looked so science fiction wise, like you were actually a secret agent from the future sent back to spy on ordinary kids in the 90s, and at any point you could be returning to the year 2495. That's a nice little illusion when you're 17 and can't get a date to the prom. Number 17, iMac G3. If a see-through phone wasn't enough to prove how awesome you were in the 90s, you might have upped the ante with an iMac G3. This personalized computer, which launched in 1998, looked so aesthetically pleasing to the 90s eye. It was bubble-shaped, had a translucent back, and you could choose your own color or flavor as Apple called them. As you might recall, they came in blueberry, grape, tangerine, lime, and strawberry. The iMac G3 was a status symbol, one that cost $1,299. If you managed to convince your parents to get one, you were definitely cool. Number 18, Goosebumps. Author R.L. Stine published 62 books in his original Goosebumps series, and they remain some of the best horror fiction for kids ever written. If you don't believe me, then you probably didn't grow up reading Night of the Living Dummy under your covers and freaking yourself out. Jesus. Ventriloquism, till this day, has never been the same. Number 19, curtain bangs. Whether you were trying to emulate Kate Moss, Johnny Depp, or James Vanderbeek, chances are you took a risk with some middle-parted bangs in the 90s. And chances are you probably immediately regretted it. I know I did. Man, those things are tough to maintain and to see through. And number 20, oversized denim. Denim will never get out of style, but 90s kids loved it so much they wore it in massive swaths of fabric. Both rappers and grunge rockers alike looked like they were swimming in their jeans and jackets. And soon we all followed suit. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Get the fuck on.